Before we begin, I want you to pause for a moment. Don't do anything. Don't expect anything. Just be here. Because a new phase of life doesn't begin when circumstances change, and not when you make an important decision. A new phase begins when your inner point of support changes. Most people step into a new phase carrying the same inner state they had before. They simply hope that now things will be different. And that is exactly why life often stays the same. Today, I'm not here to motivate you, not to inspire you with beautiful words, but to share a way of entering any new phase of life so that it is truly new, without expectations, without tension, without inner pressure. And yes, this is rarely talked about openly, because it doesn't promise fast results, but it works every time. Let's start with the most important thing. The first mistake people make is entering a new phase with expectations. Expectations seem harmless. We call them hope, faith, positive thinking. But at the level of inner state, expectation is tension. It sends a message to life. Something is missing. I'm waiting for it to get better. Life always responds to state, not to words, not to goals, but to the place you are living from inside. When you enter a new phase with expectations, you are already saying internally, right now is not enough. Later will be better. And reality simply continues to confirm that sense of not enough. That's why this is essential to understand. You cannot enter a new phase with hope. As strange as that may sound, you can only enter a new phase with inner permission. Permission to live. Permission not to know. Permission not to control. Most people believe they need a plan. In truth, they need inner support. A plan is an attempt to control the future. Inner support is a state in which the future no longer feels threatening. And here we come to something rarely spoken about. A true new phase does not begin with the question, what do I want? It begins with a very different question. In what state am I willing to live, even if nothing changes immediately? Feel that question. If your new phase is only possible when life improves quickly, then it isn't a new phase. It's the same dependency on external conditions. A real entry happens when you can say inside, even if nothing is clear yet, I'm okay. This is where the shift occurs. Tension doesn't disappear because you convince yourself. It disappears because you stop negotiating with life. Now let's talk about the second thing that destroys any new phase, inner attachment to results. Results are the most subtle trap. You may say you are not waiting, but inside you keep checking. Is it working? Has it changed yet? Every check pulls you backward, because once again, you are looking from the state. I need confirmation in order to feel calm. But calm is not a reward. It is the starting point. There is a paradox in entering a new phase correctly. You begin living as if stability already exists, and then reality catches up to that state. Not the other way around. And this is important to hear. This is not imagination, not affirmations, not self-deception. This is a shift in identity. You are no longer someone who waits for life to become easier. You are someone who lives from ease. Now let me give you something practical. Not a technique, not an exercise, but an inner orientation. Before entering a new phase, not in your mind, but inside, ask yourself one question. What am I willing to stop doing, even if nothing improves right away? Not what will I start doing, but what will I stop? Will I stop rushing? Will I stop pressuring myself? Will I stop proving? Will I stop waiting for permission? This is where real freedom begins. A new phase is always about releasing, not adding. Most people enter a new phase by loading themselves with new expectations, new roles, new goals. Life changes when you remove what is unnecessary. And the last thing I want to share, this may be the most valuable part. If you enter a new phase thinking, now I must become different, you are already in tension. A new phase does not require you to become someone else. It requires you to stop resisting who you already are. When that happens, life begins to move on its own, without force, without struggle, without pressure. If you feel this resonating, it means you are already at the threshold. And if you want to go deeper, not at the level of words, but at the level of state, supporting the channel is not about paying for content. It is a conscious choice to walk further. Here we speak about things that are rarely said out loud. And remember, entering a new phase is not a leap. It is a gentle step from inner stillness. Anything is possible.